If you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you're currently in the market for, or even just maybe casually window shopping for a pedalboard mounted direct to front of house amp and cab situation. And there's a really good chance that you might actually be digital adverse. You might be opposed to digital. You don't want your guitar signal to be crushed into a bunch of ones and zeros and then reconstituted into some sort of freakish amalgamation, a chimera of tonal artifacts. I'm actually fine with digital. I like a lot of digital products, but maybe you don't, and you want a solution that's analog, solid state, maybe even tube. If you're looking for tube, you should turn off the video because that's not what this is going to be. This is going to be a demo of the Quilter Direct Amp, an analog, solid state, direct to front of house, put it on your pedalboard amp and cab situation. So let's take a look at what we've got here. I have decided for this video, because this is meant to be pedalboard mounted for all of us guitarists out there. I mean, you can put it on a desk, but come on, you're going to put it on a pedalboard, right? I would do the demo with it mounted on a pedalboard with a bunch of pedals that I think sound great with it, and pedals that I think you might be curious about. You want to know, how is it going to handle fuzz? How is it going to handle a tube screamer? How is it going to handle heavy distortion? How is it going to handle spring reverb? That's for me. Maybe you're interested, but that one's for me. How's it going to handle stereo effects? It's got an effects loop with a mono out and a stereo return. So I've got a Zoom multi-stomp here and an A-Lab Cetus stereo reverb to show off the stereo capabilities of this thing. All right, now that you know the premise of what's about to happen, I'm going to guide you through all the controls on the face of the Direct Amp so you know what's about to happen. What can it do to get your brain excited? Like, ooh, I can't wait to hear what the middle control does. So anyways, first off, we've got a master volume control. What does that control? It controls your master volume. There is a reverb knob, an internal reverb that you can turn on and off with a foot switch. Treble, middle, and bass, standard 3-band EQ, amp style stuff. Then you've got a built-in limiter. To my ear, it sounds like compression. Is there a difference between limiters and compressors? I don't know. You tell me in the comments section, but that's kind of what it does. You get the idea, right? You'll hear it. And then we've got a gain knob. It does gain. You've used an amplifier before, right? Turn it down and your amp gets clean. You turn it up, it starts to get saturated. You turn it up more, it starts to get crispy and crunchy. You turn it all the way up and you're into full-blown roaring distortion. And if that's not enough, there is a boost circuit with an extra gain control, a volume control to get yourself up over unity or at unity or below. You could do like lo-fi sounds with it if you wanted to. And there is a switch for that boost that gives you options of fat, bright, or flat. You've got a foot switch for the boost, you've got a foot switch for the limiter, and you have a foot switch for the effects loop where the stereo effects are living. Over here, we've got 3 switches for your amp and cab stuff. You've got a selection in between a Fender style sound, an AC-15 style sound, and a JMP style sound. Then you've got speaker type, Jensen, V30, CL80, and then cab type. You could do completely off. You could turn off the cabs and use some other device to do your cab simulation if you want to, or just do it in post, whatever you want to do. Or you've got open back or closed back options. This is the power switch, off in the middle, mono on the left, stereo on the right. Obviously, I'm going to do stereo. Then we've got a wireless input switch. That's Bluetooth, baby. I'm actually like super excited that they put that in there. I'm a big fan of sitting on the couch late at night, watching Star Trek with the captions on while I jam along to new wave songs on the internet. And this allows me to do this with a full pedal board. Like, I've always done that with little headphone plugs and stuff like that, but now you could do it with a whole guitar rig. It's amazing, and it connected to my phone, lickety split, and also it's got really low latency. I'm actually pretty shocked. Like, a lot of devices that I use, things like this, have pretty big latency as far as the audio goes. So you're watching a video, you're trying to play along to Marty Schwartz or whatever, and he's like a beat ahead of you, and you're hearing the audio a beat behind his, you know, it's frustrating. So I'm actually pretty stoked that it's got really tight latency. All right, let's take a look. I already talked about the pedal board. I already talked about this. By the way, I am running direct out into my field recorder. I am monitoring with the headphone output here, And I am using my Fender Jag Stang as the guitar, humbucker and single coil, and the wackiest wiggle stick on the market, in my opinion anyways. So let's get into it. Where is my pick? I lost my pick. I'm going to start off by showing you my preferred setting on the direct amp. That happens to be the Fender amp type, the V30, and the closed back cab style. As you can see, the master volume is up around noon. You can check out where the reverb is, the EQ, and the gain control, and I have the limiter on as well. Wacky wiggle stick. So anyways, yeah, that's the sound that I like. It's thick. It's twangy. And it's got a nice splash of reverb in there. And it's got a little bit of a squishiness to it from that limiter. And it's nice and sparkly too. I mean, part of that is the fact that I've got both pickups on right now. Here is the bridge position, just the humbucker. Here is the neck position, single coil. I'll try to not be so wacky with the wiggle stick. I'll try to control myself here. Just kidding. All right, now let's move on and just explore the dang thing. I'm going to use the humbucker. Until I don't want to use it anymore. So what should we start with? Might as well explore from left to right and just go for it, right? So let's explore the range of that reverb. I mean, you can turn it all the way off if you want. Why would you do that? Why would you go all the way dry? How sad. Halfway. All the way. Let's see what we can do here. Plenty of reverb on tap, that's for sure. But let's turn that down to a more normal level here. Just a little splash to make it feel like we're in a physical space. Then we've got the 3-band EQ. I mean, it does exactly what you'd think. It does the thing, obviously. Then the limiter. Let's turn it all the way up. Squishy and clicky. I don't know the difference between a limiter and a compressor, but it sounds like it's compressing to me. What do you think? back to this later. It's really fun to explore how the limiter interacts with gain, with overdrive and distortion and fuzz. Then we've got the gain control. Speak of the devil. Turn it down all the way to have no signal at all. Plenty of clean, clean, clean sounds here. Let's turn off the limiter just so you can hear what's about to happen. Turn the gain up a hair, get some saturation going. Even more to get some crispy dirt. Even more to get chunky. I'm honestly not a huge fan of the way this starts to clip beyond there, but there's fun things you can do if you're running it into on a loop with, you know, time modulations and things like that, or if you're juicing this with a tube screamer, but we might as well keep exploring, right? All the way up. Try it with the limiter now. Listen to that. Womp, womp, womp. Let's pull this back and use the limiter just to sweeten that gain a little bit. Bring that back down right about where I like it. Now the boost. Use it to bring in some dirt when you want it. We've got it on the bright setting right now. Flat and fat. Turn it all the way up. Keep nudging the knob. It's nice to have it there as an alternate sound to throw into the mix. You can either go heavy and fuzzy, crunchy, destroyed distortion signal, or just give yourself a little bit of extra grit. Turn that off. Now we'll explore the different amp sounds. That has been the Fender. Here is the AC-15. It's got that tight, high, mid, nasal sort of bark to it. Then the JMP, a setting I don't really know what to do with. I don't really like work with those sorts of sounds, but here it is. Let's turn off the reverb. Back to the AC-15. Back to the Fender. just so you can hear the different gain types. Turn that down and we'll do the speaker type. This has been the V30 the whole time. Here is the Jensen. And here is the CL80. I like the V30. But let's try it with some higher gain just to show it off better. Back down again. We have been on the closed back setting, which is surprising to me because I play so many Fender style amps with open backs. But there's a nice like low end punch in the gut sort of thing you get from that closed back sound. Here is the open. It's going to be thinner. Back to closed. Open. Closed. Open. Closed. That's the sort of thing that you have to realize it sounds great with that heavier end sort of thing going on there when you're at home playing by yourself. But in a band mix, the open setting is probably going to be the one that sounds best. It's probably going to sit in the mix best. It's not going to be competing with the bassist or the drummer or whatever the keyboardist is doing. Things sound better at home and then worse in a mix sometimes. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then of course you can completely turn off the cab sim if you want to run some other IR or something after the whole situation. Personally, I'm totally fine with the cab simulation that is built into it. But what do I know? You might have some sort of like special cab sim that you're in love with. What else? I think that's pretty much it as far as the basic operation of the direct amp. It's an amp. It's like an amp on your pedal board because it is an amp on your pedal board. It's an analog solid state amp that fits on your pedal board. It's low wattage, so you can run direct into front of house. You plug in your XLRs up here, or you don't, your sound guy does, and then they just run you in stereo, mono, whatever you want to do, or you just run into a recorder if you're recording at home or something like that. I like it. I'm going to say that right now. I don't always say if I like or dislike things. I wish that I had this back when I was playing in church. I've been taking a sabbatical from playing on my worship team. And yeah, I would use this a lot. Not because I dislike my digital solutions. I love all my digital toys. But this just does it. It's simple. It feels like an amp because it is an amp. I'm already a longtime lover of solid state amplifiers. Here, let me show you. This right here is a vintage Acoustic Control 150. I've gigged with this amp. This is solid state. I know it looks like a head, but this is a solid state vintage head from the 70s. And I've gigged with this more than any other amp in my collection. This has been my main amp for Dinosaur Ghost. I've paid to have this thing repaired over the years because I love this sound. And then somewhat recently, like in the past year or so, I've switched to a different Quilter. I've been using the Overdrive 202. This is a 200 watt head. Just a beast. And look at how small and light it is. These are actually, or just like Quilter heads in general, are actually very popular in the surf guitar community. Like we all love just big, clean, loud sounds, and this sort of thing does it. And also, I've been using the Quilter Superblock US in my home office where I do my editing. I have a speaker cab up there and I just plug this in, and it's a great amp. So yeah, I'm already on board with solid state. I'm a solid state lover. I can say that very, very securely. I'm a solid state defender. And a lot of you are probably going like, oh, but my first amp was a Crate 15 GTRX or whatever. Those were toys. Those were toy amps. Those were practice amps. Those were beginner amps. There's really good solid state out there that has plenty of personality, has really great audio qualities to it. And that's the experience I'm getting with the direct amp. But it's a pedal board mounted, run direct into front of house or just into headphones or a recorder sort of situation. I love it. I love this thing. Also, another reason why I'd be very excited to use this in a direct situation over digital is that I think it handles fuzz way better. Digital seems to really struggle with fuzz pedals. It always sounds really filtered in like a bad nasal, kind of like telephone tin can sort of way when you run a great big heavy staticky fuzz into a digital amp modeler. And I'm not experiencing that with the direct amp. So let's start going through the pedal board and showing how the direct amp interacts with different things. And of course, I'll start with the fuzz. I've got the Walrus Eons here, which is a great pedal. It's a fuzz builder. You want to build a fuzz sound? This is a great pedal to start with. It's got voltage stacking, it's got bass and treble, and it has 5 different clipping options here. So you can really just experiment willy-nilly with this thing. That clip right there, that was just a commercial, not only for the direct amp, but also for the Eons. It's a fantastic fuzz. And this thing takes it great. Like, at no point does it feel like that tin can filtered sort of situation that I experience so often with digital modelers, amp cab simulators, when you're throwing a fuzz through it. Let's move on to the Tube Screamer. The Tube Screamer is a pedal that I don't personally use very often, but it's an undeniable part of so many rigs, so many classic rigs. It is an essential recipe in very important, very well-known, very classic guitar sounds. So I wanted to include it to show how it interacts with the gain on the direct amp, as well as the limiter and things like that. Let's neck pickup. Back to the humbucker. So here it is clean. See how it juices that gain. Back to the single. Lots of hum today. I was playing this yesterday. I didn't get quite as much 60 cycle hum. The name of the channel. JMP likes the Tube Screamer. Big surprise. I like it on the Fender setting too. How that works. See, that's the magic of a Tube Screamer. On the clean setting right there, I don't like the Tube Screamer, but then you bring up the gain a little bit. It's a sweetener. It helps your amp distortion sound thicker and fatter. It has that mid punch to it. Yeah, not bad. Now we'll try the JHS Pedals hard drive. A little bit of hair on there, but not much. Here we go. Here's some distortion. Let's try it with the limiter. Goose it pretty good there. big sound difference there, but I can feel that I'm pushing against that limiter. Yeah, I can feel the sound. Distortion? How about some more? What am I even doing here? That's enough of that. You get the point, right? I'm showing off that you can dial this in to be whatever you want it to be. You want to throw a fuzz at it? Great. You want to throw a tube screamer at it? Even better. You want to throw a heavy distortion at it? Sure. Why not? Now I'm going to do something for me. I'm going to throw a spring reverb at it. This is the Source Audio True Spring Reverb. This is one of my favorite digital, drippy, surfy spring reverbs. Let's throw the single in, just for good fun. Let's try that open back to get a little bit more tightness. Cleaner. Whew, it's getting hot. Maybe without the limiter. Here we go. I pulled the amp back cleaner, took off the limiter, put it down into the Jensen setting and the open back cab type. Let's get more mids in there. Bring the limiter back in. Wrong chord. just having some fun. This part's for me, right? I gotta have fun too, right? Let's mix in that Quilter reverb. That built-in reverb has a stereo quality to it. On to the effects loop. You can finally hear the stereo stuff that I have in store for you. So right now, I don't think, oh, we'll turn that off. Nothing is on the Zoom right now. But let's introduce the stereo delay. I'll turn off the reverb over here. Maybe put it back to my preferred settings. And the humbucker. Why not, right? Actually, I like both pickups on. Here we go. Yeah. Put on the stereo chorus. Then we'll throw in the A-Lab stereo reverb. Oh, there's a lot of low end going on, huh? also have an auto pan on here. Three reverbs, why not? And I have an auto panning delay. I had something cool going on there, didn't I? And then I messed it up. Oh well. But yeah, I'm impressed. I like the sounds a lot. I like just how easy it is to dial in. It is an amp. It feels like dialing an amp because it is an amp. It's got EQ. It's got compression from that limiter. It's got a bunch of different cab and mic settings. Not mic settings, but you know what I mean. Open back, close back. It's got drive. It's got boost. It's got an effects loop. It's got a reverb that's pretty dang lush. It's got the stereo thing going on with that reverb. Mono send, stereo return, so you can get wild with stereo effects. It's convenient. It powers off of standard 9 volt. You don't need to have an extra power supply for it. It just powers off of everything. It powers off the same stuff that all these pedals power off of. It's easy. You can just throw it on your board and it sounds great. It feels like playing with an amp. Because it's an amp. Because it's a solid state analog amplifier that just happens to fit on your pedal board. I love it. I wish I was playing in church again so I could use it. I love the way it handles fuzz. I don't know. I got good things to say about it. I like this product. I mean, it's, I was already in the Quilter family. It's already a familiar format to me. It's already sounds I like playing with, a feel I like playing with. So yeah, I'm I'm the correct person to have one of these things. I'm the target market. Are you? Are you the target market for the Quilter Direct Amp? Did this tickle your ears? Is your wallet starting to vibrate in your pocket? If not, that's fine. No product is for everyone, especially in the guitar world. These are creative tools for people to use creatively. It either fits with your creative flow or it doesn't. It either makes the sounds you want or it doesn't. It either allows you to do what you want to do creatively or it doesn't. You make that decision, not me, not Quilter, not your sales rep at Sweetwater. It's all on you to make those decisions. So let me know down in the comment section what you think about the Quilter Direct Amp. And you know what? Thanks for watching. Huge thanks to Quilter for sending this out to me. I really appreciate it. I'm stoked that I have one now, and that I got to have the time to spend with it and do this demo and get to show it off. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments, support us on Patreon, buy a shirt if you're naked, ask me any questions that pop into your brain down in the comment section, and stay grounded. Bye, everybody.